Hello, and welcome to Another Home Sold, a show about Wellesley real estate where you hear from the experts on the things you need to know about buying a home, maintaining your current property, or preparing to sell. I'm your host and realtor, Steven.Verdelli with Coldwell-Banker, Wellesley's #1 real estate company for 24 years in a row. Today, we have Sheila Roy from Boston Consignment. Hi, Sheila.
Well, hello, Steve.
Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here.
My pleasure. Sheila is the owner and operator of Boston Consignment, a consignment shop here in Needham, Massachusetts. Sheila, tell me a little bit about consigning and how you got involved with that.
Well, Boston Consignment started in Needham on our Highland Street location 5 years ago. My husband and I, prior to that, were in Fairfield, Connecticut, where we had a similar shop. And when our grandchildren started to come here in the Boston area, we wanted to come back home, so we moved back home. There's the short story about how we got started in consignment is that in our career, my husband and I moved around a bit, and we realized that people have a real issue with fine furniture, not knowing what to do with it. So we got into the consignment business hoping we could help out, start recycling, and have a business. And you know what? It's a lot of fun, and it's working. And
you're really helping people out.
We feel as though we do.
So tell me a little bit about surprises and rewards within the consignment business. What's going on there? How has it changed over the past couple of years?
Well, what we find is that people are feel a lot freer and easier about consigning. I think for a while there was a stigma attached to consigning. It was like used furniture, wasn't so valuable, wasn't so hot. Today, people consign designer pieces, antiques, and there's kind of no shame to consigning. People enjoy doing it, and I love the people part of the business. We meet some fabulous consigners and great shoppers, and it really is a terrific...
There's no shame in consigning or buying from a consignment shop.
Not at all.
And you are meeting fabulous people. That's
yes,
how we met.
That's right. That's right.
So tell me, how does consigning compare to, like, say, Craigslist and eBay, that people are doing things online now?
Well, that's true. People have a lot of options today. Although I find that somebody will call me and say, I have this fabulous piece and I was advised to put it on Craigslist or whatever. And folks are cautious. They live in Wellesley, Dover, Weston, and they have terrific homes, and they just don't want to open their doors to people coming in. And eBay works as well, I suppose, but I think for the sort of consigners we have, it's not something that they would typically do.
Sure. Now, do you have repeat consigners?
Oh, very much so, very much so. We have consigners now who, when we were in Fairfield, Connecticut for 8 years, we have customers there, some who are in Manhattan, some in Connecticut, in Greenwich, Darien, New Canaan, who still call us, and we'll send a truck down and pick things up from them, which gives our shop a little bit of a different look. I mean, we are a New England shop, no doubt about it.
You're multi-state, though.
Well, and we have a cosmopolitan flair.
Sure.
Manhattan shoppers are a little bit different than Boston shoppers.
So your store is actually a retail store. So for people who don't understand the consignment process, anyone can come in. You have hours. What are your hours?
We are open 7 days a week, 10 to 6, 12 to 5 on Sunday.
7 days a week. And people can come in, browse around, look around what they're looking for.
We have friends now who, after 5 years, are coming in every week on a certain day of the week to look and see what's changed, what's new. And indeed, we do get shipments, and we get people walking in. Someone will pull up with a truck or an SUV and say, I have a car full of fabulous things. Would you take them? So it's like Christmas.
So it's not a certain day where you get consignment. It's coming in all the time.
Exactly.
So it's really, truly, you need to just be there as often as possible to see what's coming in and going there. Now, you know that I obviously shop at your store. That's how we've met. You've helped me pick up some beautiful pieces there. So again, there's no better time to go than you never know when the shipments are coming in.
Right. We do have a website, and that's my job, is to keep the website updated. So when we get things in, our goal is to get them up on the website as quickly as we can. It doesn't always work that efficiently, but we try to keep it up. And we're also present on Facebook, and we post on Thursdays on Facebook. We put new items up. So
can somebody purchase items online from your store? Okay.
Yep. I'm glad you mentioned that. We just had an occasion where we had a consigner from California who saw our pieces online, purchased online, and we're going to be making a big shipment to Palo Alto, California, which thrills us no end because that's kind of a new twist to our business, is doing online selling.
So you're going to be selling merchandise to them and shipping it to California.
Absolutely.
So you guys ship as well.
Oh, we absolutely do. Right.
Oh,
Yep.
great.
And deliver, and we pick up. We have a service where if somebody calls and says they have a house full of things and they want us to pick them up, we send them over and pick the items up.
So you can pick up from consigners. You, obviously, somebody from you or your husband will come out and take a look at the merchandise.
That's my job. Right.
Then you can actually have somebody pick that up. And is there a charge to that?
We have a pickup fee, but we keep it very modest. We subsidize it, but there
Okay.
is a small fee.
Well, that's good to know because you're a great resource for realtors in the area. You know my business. I
Yeah.
do a lot of downsizing with people who are leaving very large homes and moving into smaller communities, smaller homes, and they
Yeah.
have an excess of furniture. And you've been very instrumental with that. Tell me a little bit about how you guys do that exactly.
Well, in fact, we do work a lot with designers who are have a new client where they're redoing somebody's home, and those folks maybe redid their house 5 years ago and still have fabulous, Barbara Barry by Baker pieces or Kindle or all sorts of terrific antiques, and they want to move to a new look. So we'll go in and evaluate and take those pieces. And in terms of realtors, someone will call and say, I'm putting my house on the market in Weston, and the realtor advised me to pare down, to clean up the rooms and get rid of certain pieces. So we'll go in and on the first tier, we'll take pieces out that make the room look better for staging so it's more appropriate to sell. And then when the house sells, we go back in and get the second level of things. So we are very much in tune to what happens in the real estate business.
Right, I know you are. You guys have been fantastic. She's a wonderful resource to have. So really, it's almost like a two-tiered. You're taking things away from the house to lessen it up,
Right.
Clear things out, but leaving it up so it's still beautiful, presents well. After the home is sold, you can come back and take the rest of the furniture that they're not taking with them.
Right.
That's
Right.
great.
Exactly.
Great. Sheila, I know that there's a lot of busy people out there who really don't have the time to come by your store a couple of times a week, usually on Saturdays, along with their list of other things that they're doing and hockey and everything else that they've got going on. Can you do any type of customized shopping? So if somebody's looking for a pair of Chippendale chairs, could you do you have a book or a system that you can do customized shopping for them?
Yeah. Today, that's an important part of any service business, is making sure you fit into the busy professional's life. And we really work hard to do that. We have a wish list, both online, and people call in and describe what they're looking for. And once you have the conversation with them and you get the feeling for the price level that they're interested in and the quality of goods, it's easy for us to coordinate that. And we do call people all the time. You can't imagine, Steve, the reaction we get when a woman from Cape Cod had given us a list of things that she was looking for, and there were three things we thought were possibilities, and we called her. We became her new best friend. She was thrilled that, and it's personal service.
That's
and I
great.
think that is what distinguishes us from other places, is that my husband and I, who run the business together, are involved, very much involved. We're there 5 or 6 days a week, and every transaction is a part of what we love doing and being involved with the people.
So you can do personal shopping for them essentially as well if they're looking for a particular piece of furniture.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how does one get involved with consigning? I have a house full of stuff. I'm moving out of state, and I've got to move it. I've got beds. I've got upholstered furniture.
Right.
I've got silver. I've got dishes. Where does one start?
And the other part of it probably is it all has to happen by next Monday. So we do find we have to react pretty quickly, and often it is under time pressure, and we're geared to do that too. So I will suggest somebody just take general pictures of what you have, so I get a feeling for what is one person's treasure might not be another's. And for example, someone will call me and say, these are my grandmother's pieces, and they're antiques and they're wonderful. But for example, if they're Victorian pieces, Victorian isn't selling right now. So I just would defer and say, I'm sorry, that's not for us. Our customers aren't buying that. But in general, we get a feeling for what they have. They send pictures, and then I'll call, discuss it with them, make an appointment, and go to the house as quickly as I can. And we walk through it, and I'll tell them of the 60 pieces they have, maybe 52 will work for us. I'll tell them what we think we can price it at, and then we'll quickly arrange to have the mover go pick the items up and bring it in, sell it, send them a check. And even if they move to Santa Fe, New Mexico, we send checks everywhere, and people are very happy to receive the checks for goods.
So Boston Consignment actually sets the price.
Well, sets the price with their agreement.
Okay.
I mean, if it's their treasured piece and they want to get X for it, and I know it won't sell for that, then I'll just tell them this isn't going to work. But in general, we do come to a meeting of the mind because I try to educate people how prices and things have changed. In fact, they talked today about brown furniture, which is just standard mahogany furniture, and you'll hear people say, well, brown furniture isn't selling. In a lot of ways, that is true because people are going into a different look, the transitional look and so forth. But can I just show
Sure,
you?
absolutely.
We had a piece come in that is a beautiful antique inlaid piece with a marble top.
Beautiful.
And you might say if you saw this, in another place, you might say, well, this is going to sit around a while. Nobody's going to buy it. But the woman who came in and actually did buy it and is thrilled with it. Was looking for a certain size piece for her dining room, and maybe she didn't have that in mind when she walked in the door, but she saw it, and it just works perfectly. So
Right.
we're able to take pieces, and maybe we stage them a little bit differently than other places do too, because we have fabulous carpets and we have fabulous accessories, so the pieces look terrific in our shop, and I
Yeah,
think
they
that's a
do.
bonus for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
4,000 square feet you have there?
4,000 square feet, right?
4,000 square feet. and
Ever
it's
changing.
Ever
Right.
changing. It's wonderful. So how does Boston Consignment differ from some other consignment shops in the area?
Well, one thing we explain to people is that when you give us a piece, we agree to keep it for 6 months. After 6 months, then it's time to talk about it. And if, again, you gave me 18 pieces and 2 didn't sell, it's time to discuss what do we do with these last 2 pieces. We don't reduce the prices over time. If you remember Filene's Basement and that whole concept of after it's been there for 20 days or so forth, you reduce it. I think that gives anxiety to the consignor because they're not sure how much their piece is priced at this moment. So we don't do that. And again, I think it's our personal service and the way we care for things. We'll polish them up when they come in, display them beautifully, and you walk in the door, you feel as though you can see how it would look in your home.
Exactly.
So we work very hard to do that.
Exactly. So your showroom is large. It's 4,000 square feet. What happens if an entire household is coming to like an estate sale, a situation like that?
That's never a problem. I was going to mention, because for us it was an exciting episode, because we had our shop in Connecticut for 8 years. We had a lot of consigners from Manhattan, and we got a call one day from the assistant to Marvin Hamlish, and Marvin Hamlish had been a neighbor of a former consignor of ours, and they had recommended us. So we sent a truck to Manhattan to the Upper West Side to Marvin Hamlish's apartment and took everything out of the apartment because they were moving from their city residence where they'd been for 25 years to the country. And it was unbelievable. And were we able to put everything on the floor at that moment? No. We had to store about 50% of it in our warehouse location. But quickly things were selling and we were able to just pull them out, put them on the floor and mix them in.
Sure.
And what happened in a case like that, which is one of our most exciting episodes, he had, for example, I'd say 35 sterling silver picture frames. And what our theory was that as Marvin Hamlish, who was a renowned musician and award-winning music person, when he would travel to different parts of the world and they wanted to thank him, they would give him a sterling silver picture frame. So he had so many, but we were able to sell Tiffany picture frames and so forth. And we just had a wonderful time with that. But we have had fabulous consignments and fabulous connections, a lot of word of mouth.
Sure, that's interesting. Every piece of furniture has a story.
Every piece of furniture has a story.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So everything sounds good. We've talked about you come to the house, you can pick things up, people can bring things to you. They sit out there, they're beautifully displayed, you polish them up. People come in and get these wonderful pieces that have a great history to them, and somebody else has enjoyed them, and it's their second life in another home. What are some of the problems? There's got to be some problems with consigning.
Well, like with any business and any human, we make mistakes. I mean, there have been times when we've taken things that just don't sell, and so it's not very pleasant to have to call a consignor and say, Mrs. Smith, we have your 13 pieces. These 2 just are not going to sell. But we deal with that and return pieces that don't sell. There really aren't problems. The challenges for me is that I'm the one who generally will make the choice or the decision about whether we can take something. And if somebody comes in and they really have held on to this treasure for 20 years, knowing that someday they were going to pass it on to their children don't want it. And so they, in their mind, have built up expectations but the piece isn't really valuable to anyone else but them. And having to tell somebody that can be a little bit difficult, but I try to be as gentle as possible and just say, you know, times have changed. There's no value here.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. So your advice to somebody who has little time, little money, but really wants to have some nice things in their house.
Right.
And you've given me this advice personally. You've helped me pick out some really beautiful pieces for my home that work well with other pieces. What type of advice would you give them working with budgets and sizes of their home?
Well, the first thing is if they're going to take their budget and go spend it on pieces that are disposable, I think from a world responsibility point of view, rather than buy an IKEA piece, nothing wrong with IKEA, but that maybe will be on the curbside in a couple of years, find a treasure that you really love that has been around for 50 or 75 years, and you can see the lasting value of it, and you will be able to pass that on to your children. So I guess it's just about shopping quality and making a one-time purchase, and even if you have to spend a little more than you thought you would, you'll definitely be rewarded.
So furniture, much like other things in our lives, it's about quality, quality, not quantity.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Thank you so much, Sheila, for coming on the show today.
You are welcome.
Sheila Roy from Boston Consignment, located at 238 Highland Ave in Needham. They can also be found online at bostonconsigns.com, and we'll have all of Sheila's information up on our website. Thanks so much for coming on
Steve,
today,
it's
Sheila.
been a pleasure. Really, it has. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're a dear.
Next, we're going to be going to 6 Fife Road in Wellesley Hills with list agent Tom Aaron. Tom, thanks for coming on the show.
Steve, thanks for having me.
Now, Tom, you've been on the show before, but I don't think we talked about it. How long have you been with Coldwell-Banker?
So this year I'm celebrating my 25th year with the company.
Wow.
It's been a great run. Been with the Wellesley office for the full 25 years, and have really enjoyed my career.
Good to know. So you've been there for 25 years, and we've been #1 in Wellesley for 24 years.
That's right.
So you must have been instrumental with helping that happen.
I would like to think so. You know, I'm one of the top producers in the office, and you know, I'd like to think that I contribute to the office's success.
Good, and I know you have. Good to know. So let's talk a little bit about 6 Fife Road. Where is Fife Road in Wellesley?
So good question. So Fife Road is in Wellesley Hills. It's off of Cedar Street. It's in a great little neighborhood on a side street, close to I-95, close to Route 9. So it's a great commuter location, sort of on the Needham line. My client who owns the property purchased it about 20 years ago. She's a very talented decorator on Beacon Hill. She bought it and renovated it with the intent to move into it herself. And she then got engaged, and she and her husband never moved out of the city. So we were lucky that we've had it rented for the last 20 years to 2 really great tenants. Now she has 2 college-age girls that are getting ready to go off to college next year, and time to sell the investment.
So that's great. So not only is this house charming, but it's also a great rental option for someone.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because it's a 2-bedroom and it's on a side street, it's perfect for, you know, a single person or a couple.
So it's just over 700 square feet. It's a nice condo alternative.
Yeah, it's a great condo alternative. You know, it's ideal for somebody that wants low maintenance. It's in great shape. It's been well maintained. It has a relatively small lot, so it doesn't require anybody, you know, to spend a lot of time, you know, maintaining the grounds or maintaining the house itself. Has an updated roof and siding and windows and you know, kitchen and bathroom. So for somebody that's looking for sort of a pied-à-terre, you know, or a second home, or just a you know, a condo alternative, it's great.
And you have a garage here as well.
Yeah, it has a 1-car detached garage, so you can fit a car, but it's also great for storage. I showed the house yesterday to somebody that had some kayaks. So it's 17 feet wide, it's 17 feet long, so it, you know, would fit a kayak really well.
And this house is heated with hot water, gas.
Yeah, the house is, it's all gas. It's gas heat, hot water, laundry, and cooking. So very efficient. It's town water, town sewer, and it was just recently hooked up to the town sewer. So it's really ready to go. It has a great little floor plan. First of all, the house is a really bright house. And has a lot of windows, but there's some architectural columns between the kitchen and the family room with a fireplace. Has a curved staircase. The second floor master bedroom has vaulted ceilings with recessed lighting and a paddle fan. And it has a great vintage bathroom with a ball and claw foot tub and some beadboard and a really neat sink with a sort of a gooseneck faucet. So it's got a lot of interesting architectural features, reminiscent of the 1930s when it was built.
Now, the lower level is 13 by 15 with laundry hookups, correct?
Correct. Yep, lower level is currently unfinished, but if somebody needed some additional space, if they needed a rec room or an office or an exercise room or just storage, it's great space that could be finished. There are 2 storage closets. There's a door that goes out to a bulkhead. But right now it just currently accommodates the mechanical systems and a stackable washer dryer.
And the home has hardwood floors throughout.
Yep, hardwood floors throughout, including the kitchen and the bathroom upstairs.
Okay, gas cooking, correct?
Correct. Yep, some nice built-ins. When my client purchased the property 20 years ago, she had custom cabinet company come in and build out the kitchen. Cabinets, and also there are really great maple countertops, butcher block countertops. There's a small sort of apartment-size dishwasher and little back hall area, for coat storage, little mudroom.
So this is truly one of the most unique properties currently on the market in Wellesley.
Yeah, not only is it unique, but it's actually the least expensive single-family home on the market right now in Wellesley, so it's a really affordable alternative for a lot of people. Again, looking for either a single-family home or as a condo alternative.
Or downsize, somebody with dogs, with a yard.
Sure, absolutely.
So we're looking at 6 Fife Road in Wellesley Hills, which is off of Cedar Street, almost bordering Needham.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, with great access to the highway and Route 9.
Now, Tom, how would somebody get in to see this house if they were interested?
Very easy to show. It's empty, so anybody that's interested can contact me directly, and we can set up a showing, either myself or my assistant. And we've been sort of showing it nonstop over the last 2 weeks.
Great. So we're at 6 Fife Road with Tom Aaron at Coldwell-Banker, Wellesley. Tom can be reached at 781-248-8785. Tom, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Steve, and good luck with your show.
Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed watching today's episode of Another Home Sold. Remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you're thinking about listing your home or just want an up-to-date market analysis, please call me at 617-922-4714. I'm Steven.Verdelli with Coldwell-Banker Residential Brokerage in Wellesley. Thanks for watching. See you next week, and remember, home is the nicest word there is.